Somebody in the chat says, "What's the undead dragon's pronoun?" We don't know. Sorry, I have to ask.
Was were now.
Was were. So this is Valor of Man because Man of Valor was taken.
And it's also
No.
I'm just kidding. What is the story? Can you tell us a little bit about the story of the game?
Yeah, so Death got tired of reaping souls, and now he wants to get out of the prison he's in, and he's chosen you as his champion or avatar, basically.
Oh, so weird.
So
That's cool.
You work for him.
You work for him, basically.
What inspired you guys to become indie game developers?
Well, we love games. We play games for like when we were very little, like 7 years old. The first time I put a very old computer in my hand, I absolutely loved it. Played all the games I could get on. And then my brother, he grew up with me with all the games, and we were playing like Diablo 1 and Baldur's Gate. And
Nameliss is going for the difficult. He's going for the night challenge.
Wow, I saw this.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Not wood.
No, take the night challenge.
Do it. So that's okay.
Do it.
So do the night challenge. Let's see how you do. Are you good at these kinds of games, like turn-based strategy?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this might be a short show.
Well, I have you guys. I have the developers on my side. They're gonna tell me what to do. See,
No. You can't. That's not fair. They're not gonna help.
Man.
Or maybe you can't really trust the advice they're going to give you. So
you never know.
They could sabotage you. So this is the game in combat. First enemy, a dragon lich or an undead dragon. So you have a party of 4. It's turn-based, and I think we're going to get the like what the cool part of the system is. But first, we do have some people in the comments asking questions. So John Doe says Brian can ask them what their thoughts are on using AI for game development. I've seen videos of games like Skyrim using AI to make NPCs more lifelike. AI could be used to speed up game development. What do you guys think about? It's still early days now, but have you guys even thought about using AI or like how AI is going to change game development?
Yeah, we thought about it, but we don't feel that at the moment is a good fit for us. We don't use it.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't think for you, but I think this guy's speaking to the broader, like how it's going to impact gaming in the broader scale. One of your primary goals is replayability, so that people will be, I'm going to play it again, and part of it is so as you play through the game, you say that you get, different rewards. Because I did finish this first fight, and I got like a couple of items. And then you have to pick from a few, options and some equipment and some abilities. I'm saying like that the replayability will come in the form of you. It's almost like you can have different builds for your party members. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Right. Over time. And go ahead.
Yeah. So the replayability comes in 2 parts. One is what you are building with your heroes. So the builds you get. So in one time you might have lots of cool, fancy spells. Next time you might have some cool rogue things, like you're like an assassin from stealth and stuff, and that's cool. And so that's one part, what you're doing, and the other part is what the enemies do. So we thought, hey, what makes a battle interesting, right? So what if I'm fighting some goblins? What makes me want to fight the goblins next time? So we realized that this idea of a changing tactical position is what makes for interesting decisions. So in this game, you can know what's happening now, but what will happen in a little bit, like next turn, it's like almost infinite possibilities. So each time you play the fight, it will go a little bit different.
I just saw the reaction there. So this is what I was talking about. You see, the dragon did like an attack that went in front of it, but because none of your heroes were in front of it, you positioned yourself so that you could avoid that before that happened. So this is the kind of things you can look at what the dragon's going to do the next time you do something to him, and then position your people so that you can minimize the impact of that. I assume
Yeah,
that
that's-
different enemies they're all gonna have different behaviors, and you have to like prepare that. Will those also be randomized? Like for example, could you run into a dragon like this one again, but it has different reactions and actions?
there is a stronger dragon in the second chapter. Well, the second and third chapter are not fully developed, but there's a stronger version of this dragon. But this one in particular is not randomized. So each time you fight him, he will have the same things, but the way he will behave that time,
Well, this
will
is
be randomized.
this is like the tutorial. This is to get your feet
Yeah.
wet, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What games inspired you? Like, what are the games that drive you to make games? So before you were a game developer, what are the
Yeah.
games that you said, "Oh, I love this," and then you were kind of thinking, like maybe there are games that we don't see anymore, like they don't make them like that anymore, kind of a thing. What are some of those?
Yeah. So I think for me personally, Baldur's Gate, the second one, the one that came in 1998 or whatever it was, that was the greatest game for me. I spent months playing that and exploring all the different things and all the classes and all the quests and stuff. So I loved that. And I especially loved the combat, that every fight was a little bit different. And whatever I did in last fight didn't work for this one. And I remember one time spending, I think, an hour with my brother trying to beat a red dragon. That was super hard, and we didn't even hit him after trying for an hour. And there was something magical about that experience, about trying really hard and then coming back later and being stronger and beating the guy. And we wanted to create something that evokes that kind of feeling. We played lots of Fallout and Diablo and Baldur's Gate and even lots of more modern things like Slay the Spire is obviously a big one for us. I think there's many things they streamlined very, very well, and they made them much easier to understand rather than the overcomplicated old games. And so we took a lot of inspiration from them, and also board games. But so like Gloomhaven and Kingdom Death Monster.
I never played Gloomhaven, but somebody I know. Oh, you beat him! Awesome, on night difficulty, no less.
Yeah.
How well do you think you did?
Based.
Yeah.
It's
Very based.
It's turn-based. That's why you guys invited us, because we made a turn-based game.
Awesome. Yes, we invited you because it's turn-based.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody in the chat says, "What's the undead dragon's pronouns?" We don't know. Sorry, I have to ask.
Were now.
Were. What are you fighting now? Are those goblins or something?
Goblins,
like little gremlins.
Yeah. Goblins.
Goblins,
and gremlins.
Just goblins. Yeah.
Just goblins. Okay.
Yeah.
And the goblins have their own. You can see on the just to show people the game how it plays. On the right side of the screen, there's the profile image of the creature, and it has their health, I think. And then on the left side, there is their reaction and their attack, right? And when you hit them,
they have their action, what they're gonna do, and then their reaction,
which is what they'll do after you attack them, right?
Yeah.
And then it shows you what the area they're going to affect is with both of those. This is why I say it feels like a board game. Like, okay, I was going to ask, what do you guys think is better, turn-based or real-time?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know the story about Diablo 1. That the guy that made Diablo 1 wanted to make a turn-based game, and he did a lot of work. And after they got to funding and stuff like that, they had meetings, and everybody we need to make it real time. And he was like, no, I want to make it to turn-based. And after he was the only one in the company that was with the turn-based, everybody said real time to make it real time. And after he conceded and he made it real time, it was great. So that's a story for the real-time games. You know where Diablo is now. But it's a different audience, I could say. In our game, we think about our game, as you said, the turn-based, the Dark Souls board game.
The board
We think
game,
about
yeah.
exactly like Dark Souls in turn-based mode. That's how we thought about it.
Yeah,
So it's spot on.
or is it Darkest Dungeon? That's kind of like that too. I actually think that turn-based games get a bad rap. I think that you know, I love turn-based games. Sometimes there's games that blend it a little bit. Like there was this one, and the reason why I thought of XCOM is because you said that this game has permadeath, right? So when your guy's dead, he's dead, and that was the thing in XCOM. You like have this soldier, and you give him equipment and everything, and then they just get killed and they're gone. So let me ask you guys something else. What tools or software do you prefer for game development? Like, what are you using engine-wise, and what is your thoughts on the current state of? So, what tools do you guys use, and what do you what do you like about it, dislike about it?
Yeah, we use C#. We use Unity. This is the game engine that's based on, and we chose it because it's the programming language is C#, and it's much nicer than C++, which is the Unreal version. So this is the main reason, the first main reason. The second main reason is that we have a lot more experience with Unity than other engines, so it was a natural choice.
So I see that the game has a beautiful art style. It's a little more, I don't want to say cartoony, but like kind of fantastical, little comic booky. So who are the people behind the art vision, and why did you why do you want it to look like this? It's almost like World of Warcraft, but I don't want to say that, but almost,
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah.
But we haven't played World of Warcraft.
Oh.
Yeah, but we know. We played a lot of Blizzard games, but not World of Warcraft.
Yeah, which has been the hardest boss encounter to design? Cabrici TV says. Or is that a spoiler? Because maybe
no, it's fine.
Oh,
no,
okay.
So there's this spider boss who really moves around a lot, way more than other enemies, and his level is very large. So that was a challenging one to design because we wanted it to not feel frustrating. You hit him and he runs to the other end. It's like, oh god, and now I have to chase him there.
Yeah.
And so that took a few iterations to get right, but we think we have him in a very good place now because he kind of runs away from you, but you can keep him still and you can do some moves. It's just it took lots of thinking and iterations about that to make him feel good while running away kind of from you.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said there's always a spider boss.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the most difficult things, in my opinion, is how to explain the reaction system to a player, to a new player.
Yeah.
I mean, Florian explained it to me for 2 weeks, and I was still like, so if I do this, and what does that? What happens if he does that? But then I cannot do that. I mean, I was like, man, how does this work? It's too hard.
Yeah.
No one will understand this. So we tried from the beginning. We thought exactly as you said. We started from a board game. Like, okay, the enemy plays a card, but how do you present that to the player? The game stops and shows you a card, and you start reading it, and then he does the action. It's like, oh my god, nobody's gonna play that. It's too boring. So we try to make it as streamlined as possible, but at the same time, you need to look at those cards to see what they do. So that was the biggest challenge.
Well, that's the thing that's cool about this. You have to take careful consideration. Like you're fighting skeletons now. I just want to look at the game a little bit. There's some skeletons, and there's one with a really big sword. Is he different from the other ones? This guy in the middle. Yeah. So that's like a skeleton knight or a skeleton warrior.
Skeleton warrior.
Yeah, and so his behaviors, are they the same? Like his attacks are just different or the same?
So far, his reactions look the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he
so when you
stack.
Yeah. So you're playing it like, and that's the thing I notice with more games these days is they integrate elements from board games and card games a lot. And I don't know if that's because we have a generation that grew up on Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering, and they're like putting that into the games, you know, because I noticed that this is like a big thing, like deck building games. And I'm not saying that's what this is, but there's certainly like a board game element to it. But there's a question from the chat I want to bring up too, and I was going to ask you this too. John Doe says, are there different classes for mages, like a pyro mage, a shock mage, or are the mages masters of all? I guess what I would say to add to that is that right now your version only has 4 characters. Are there going to be different classes and characters like more added to the final product, and what are they going to be?
Yeah, so each hero archetype, so like warrior, cleric, mage, each will have 3 classes. And when you start a run, you can choose mix and match between them however you want. Of course, at the start you only have these 4, and then as you play, you unlock more and more classes and more abilities. So each class focuses on different play style. This is the main idea. So for the mage, for example, because the person asked about the mage. So what you're playing now is the Archmage. She's good with damage spells. She does lots of damage. She's very squishy. Then there's the Seer, who's good at manipulating the monsters and changing what they do, or making them do things in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
And then there's the Occultist, which is like more of an abyssal feel. She can push monsters and teleport them and things like this.
Can there be a joke class called DEI hire? They have no skills or abilities, but you have to use them. You have to put them in your party, otherwise you'll be labeled.
You get a debuff. Whole game.
Yeah. You
We'll
have to have them in your party, and they're not useful, but you can't blame them when your party dies. I'm sorry. If you die too much, does death get frustrated with you and give you an ultra sword?
Well, now that you asked, yes. He will.
There you go. What are your plans for, like, how long, how many hours do you want this game to last? What's the scope of this?
Is that a comment that I'm playing too slow? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, yeah, that's what. Actually, you haven't.
How long is this gonna take, everybody?
You haven't. Yeah, I know. When are we gonna be done? No. I'm a little worried because he's making a lot of progress very quickly for somebody who's not good at these kinds of games, and I feel like you guys need to make this game a lot harder because he's on night mode.
But it sounds to me. I'm on high difficulty. I got all hell. Look at this.
Yeah, he's like killing it. Anyway, yeah. So, like, how many hours do you think this is going to be for an average playthrough? You think? What's the goal?
Yeah. So
I know you want replayability, but
yeah. So playing one time through the game, we aim to take about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours. Depends on how hard it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be the unlockable content and stuff. So the aim would be to have about 50 hours of stuff to unlock and see new things constantly. By that time, you know, if you're hooked enough to play for that long, then you'll probably, we don't even know how complex it can be, like how many things you can do and what combinations can come up. So probably infinite in terms of actual gameplay replayability.
Wait, is he fighting 3 beholders now? And they look really cool too.
Thank you.
Dude, they look awesome. Like that looks good.
Style.
Yeah, I love the art style on the beholders. But 3 beholders? What level are you, man? Like that's one should be like a final boss. Was it like it's insane.
Good.
I mean, you just walked in on a situationship of beholders right now.
It's just an eye party.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so how many difficulties will there be? Right now, you just have Squire and Knight.
So right now there's just the first difficulty when you can choose squire and knight at the start. This is for the first run, so you have a gentler start. After that, it doesn't ask you anymore. You're a knight, it's fine. And then there will be 10. We don't know exactly for sure, but we are planning at least 10 extra difficulty levels. So 10, we call them Valor levels because the game is Valor of Man.
Right. Not Man of Valor, right?
No.
That's like a World War II thing. Well, the game again is called Valor of Man, and the on X it's at Valor of Man Game, right? And look it up on Steam. There'll be a link in the description to the Steam store page. Right, we are playing a beta. It's like a invitation. But when do you guys plan on putting a demo out?
At the end of this month.
The
end
month,
of January.
end of the month. So at the end of January, look out for the demo. It looks really great, guys. I mean, I'm super impressed by this. Every time we have a guest on, I'm like just floored by like the quality of these games.
I really enjoyed playing it actually, and just let everyone know I actually won. I beat that thing. He took it down, but he didn't want to show that me winning. I won. See, there it is.
So, I was thinking. All right.
I was thinking.
This game is not hard enough. We need to make. We need to go harder. No, I think he just got lucky. All right. Well, anyway, thanks, guys. We're getting a lot of great compliments, and thanks. Please come back on again, and let's follow your progress. I look forward to this. So the game again is called Valor of Man, and please check it out on Steam by Legacy Forge. So, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yes, well, thank you very much for having us. It's been a blast.
Thank you for showing the game. I loved it. Those beholders, though. All right, we're gonna go. Thanks, guys, for coming on.
More surprises.
You guys are right.
I bet.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Ciao.